Hello everyone, this is Feba. Today I'm here to do a video comparing what IELTS and OET is, because many have come to me with the doubt what is the difference between these two exams and how long are both these exams valid, who is it beneficial for, and things like that. So my aim here today is to give you a brief understanding of the differences between these two exams and its validity, on what countries these are accepted, what is the differences between the modules in both these exams, and things like that. So let me start by explaining to you. IELTS means International English Language Testing System. That is the expansion for IELTS. OET stands for Occupational English Test. So as both the name suggests, the aim of both the exams is to test your knowledge of English language. So that's the aim for both the exams. The validity for both the exams is 2 years. That means after you've written your IELTS or OET, it's valid, or the score is valid for 2 full years. Next comes, which all countries are these exams accepted in? IELTS is a more popular exam and therefore it is accepted in more countries than OET, like in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Ireland, and so on. OET, however, is accepted in Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Ireland, and Singapore. Canada so far does not accept OET, so if anybody is planning to move to Canada, please only write IELTS, do not opt for OET yet. Let us hope that in the future OET also will be accepted, but until now it is not. Speaking of the types of the exam, IELTS, as most of you might already know, has 2 basic types: the academic version and the general version. The academic version is aimed for those who want to go to English language countries for their higher education or for the intention of having a professional registration. That means if you are a profession that requires a registration in any of the English speaking countries, you will have to write the academic version of IELTS. The others might need to write just the general version of it. But OET does not have any type based on academic or general. The difference in OET is based on the job that you are. As it says, Occupational English Test. This exam it considers 12 major healthcare professions, not any other professions. So the 12 professions that they consider are dentistry, dietetics, medicine, nursing, occupational therapy, optometry, pharmacy, physiotherapy, podiatry, radiography, speech pathology, and veterinary science. So if you are among any of these 12 professions, you can write OET to go into an English speaking country and for the professional registration there. IELTS, the only thing is you have the option to write it on paper or on computer. OET does not have that. So on paper meaning you have to write everything by hand. Computer means you will have to obviously type everything by hand, except for speaking, which is a face-to-face exam. So if you have the skills to type fast in a computer, you can opt for the computer version, or otherwise just opt for the normal paper version of IELTS. Next difference is in the parts of the exam. Both the exams have 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Out of the 4, listening, reading, and writing are written exams. Speaking is obviously a speaking face-to-face exam with the examiner. Now I'll compare each of the module, how long each module is, and the number of questions, and how it is different as well. So first, in any exam is the listening module. Now in IELTS, listening is for 30 minutes and has 40 questions. But in OET, the listening is for 45 minutes and it has more than 40 questions. In the sense, it is not having a fixed number of questions. You'll have a lot of fill in the blanks or different kinds of questions to answer in OET, whereas in IELTS, they have a strict 40 question limit. Now in IELTS or OET, the content of the exam or the question paper will be the same for all the people writing the exam on that particular day. Despite academic or general in IELTS, or despite the profession that you are in OET, the exam will be the same for listening for all those who are writing on that particular day. The second module is the reading module. 60 minutes duration for both IELTS and OET. IELTS has only 40 questions again, but OET will have more number of questions that you have to answer. Here in IELTS, academic version has a separate question paper and general version has a separate question paper. So that depends based on what you are writing. In IELTS that will be different, but in OET again, reading is the same for all those who are writing the exam on the same day despite your profession. Third module is the writing module. Here the time is different. In IELTS you have the writing module for 60 minutes, that is 1 full hour, and you have 2 tasks that you need to complete in the 1 hour. In OET you have the writing only for 45 minutes, but the benefit is you just have to do 1 writing task in that 45 minutes. Now in IELTS, the writing will be different for those who are writing the academic version and for those who are writing the general version. The questions or the question paper will be different. In OET also, it will be different based on the job that you are applying for. For example, if you are a nurse and you're writing the OET exam, your writing question paper will be having something specific to your nursing profession. If you are a doctor, your writing module in OET will have a question that is specific to the profession as a doctor. So based on your profession, your question paper will vary in OET. Like I said, 1 task in OET and 2 tasks in IELTS. The final module is the speaking module. In IELTS, your speaking module will go on for around 11 to 15 minutes, but in OET, your speaking module will go up, might be up to 20 minutes or so. IELTS speaking has 3 parts, part 1, part 2 and part 3. OET will have 2 scenarios or 2 tasks that is given to you. So in OET it will be a scenario that is explained to you and how you're going to handle that scenario. So based on those 2 scenarios, how you converse with the person opposite to you will be what is tested. In IELTS, it will be basically some general questions that are asked to you and how you are answering based on that. Now, in IELTS, the speaking will be the similar kind for all the people, both as well as in both in academic as well as in general. But in OET again, based on your job, the scenario and your conversation will be different. Meaning, again, if for example you are a nurse writing OET, the scenario that is given to you will be something that a nurse normally faces in the medical profession. Or if you are a doctor, your scenario will be something similar to what a doctor faces in a medical situation. So based on that, your scenarios will definitely be different in your OET exam as well. So coming to the scores that is required for both these. For IELTS, you need an overall of 7 for nursing profession. This is specific to the UK again. You need an overall of 7. You need a score of 7 individually in your listening, reading and speaking. But in your writing, you need only a score of 6.5. In OET, you do not have an overall band score. You just need to get a band B in each of the modules. Unlike IELTS, OET is scored as A, B, C, D, E, which is the bands that you require. So B is the band that is required for each module in OET. So that's how the scoring that is required for the nursing profession in both IELTS and OET. Coming to the cost, IELTS, because it's more popular, is a little more cheaper, and because it's accepted in more countries as well. It will come to around 160 to 170 pounds, but OET will come to around 350 to 370 pounds. OET is quite a little more expensive than IELTS. The next difference comes in rewriting the exam. if you do not get the accepted score in a particular module in your IELTS, you have to attempt it again. But when you attempt again, you have to write all the 4 modules again, even if you lost only one the first time. But in OET, the benefit is if you lost only one module when you wrote the exam first, when you write it again, you have to write only that particular module. For example, if you wrote your OET exam and you got a lower score for your writing, but all the other modules you got band B or above, in that case, when you are rewriting the exam, you need to write only the writing section. You do not have to attempt any of the other 3 modules. So that's one benefit that you can say for OET. The next thing is the combination of the scores. Most countries now accept 2 combined scores. For example, if you have got 2 exams in IELTS where you combine the scores and you get your required score, or the same in OET, provided you have written both the exams within a gap of 6 months. If both the exams have a gap longer than 6 months, they will not accept the previous score. They will accept only the present or the latest one that you have written. So think about which one you have written and what is the gap between both the exams if you are combining 2 scores. Validity, like I said, both the exams are valid for 2 years, and you can use it as long as for 2 years as you have written the exam. So which one is more beneficial? Well, both are English language exams, and maybe for medical professionals, OET might be a bit more beneficial because the content in OET will be related to medical profession only. Whereas in IELTS, for example, if you take a reading task, they can bring out an article related to any issue in the world. But in OET, it will definitely be something related to the medical profession. So the terms that they use or the content might be a little more familiar to you rather than from IELTS. Otherwise, both exams are equally almost the same. And it depends upon you which one you prefer to write. That might be the only thing that is beneficial for medical professionals, but otherwise both the exams are pretty much the same. So if you have any further questions related to IELTS OET or the differences, or if you want me to do a separate video about IELTS and OET, I can do that as well. Just mention in the comment box and I can put further videos. Thank you very much.